anyone thinks a hot dog is a sandwich, I'm gonna need you to leave right now.
We got that out of the way. Very good. Good, sir. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am well. So, this is your first time around? You been here before?
I have been here before because I went to Chapel Hill High School. I don't know if there's still like Sanderson or Broughton or Ravenscroft people here who might want to fight me still. Yeah, so I spent some time in what we used to call the Triangle area. Do we still call it that? Yeah. Do they still have hush puppies around? Yeah. So
I softballed that for
This
you.
is home. This is home.
Yeah,
for me,
yeah.
Sure.
I know.
I have a lot of homes. This is one of them.
Oh, very nice.
But it's a great pleasure to be back here, and thank you so much for coming out. It's really a thrill for me.
Well, whenever I have a solo guest, real quick, I just always like to hear the origin story. So, what drew you to wanting to get into performing?
There was a lot of other jobs that I found out I could not do. I had left North Carolina to go play soccer at a little school in Ohio, and I was told to leave there at a time when I actually also really wanted to go to New York, because there was a lot of cool bands. I liked seeing like the B-52s. This was a long time ago. A lot of like punk bands and stuff, and I wanted to go there and see all that. And then I starved in New York for about a year, and one of my friends from the little school in Ohio said, you know, you could get off the streets by auditioning. She knew I had done a play there. By auditioning, you could maybe get into NYU, and then you would have a place to live. So I did that, and I ended up with a great bunch of people and starting out that way.
Very nice. It's been a heck of a ride since then, I'd say.
Thank you.
Again, you have a tremendous body of work. I'd love to talk about some of the stuff. Some of the things. Hey.
That felt inappropriate, but I'm going to roll with this.
Welcome downtown. One of the things that you're in that I really enjoy, We Were Soldiers. I love the film so very much because it works as a historical piece, it works as a cautionary tale about war, but it actually has almost an adventure-like quality to it too. It kind of hits all those weird sort of little marks, and that was one of the early. What was that experience like for you?
It was based on a wonderful book, We Were Soldiers Once and Young, really incredible book written by General Hal Moore, who was part of that battle, the first air cavalry battle. And I think a very crucial battle within that war, because like so many wars, because I studied them a little bit, the technology changes, and it changes completely what everyone's doing. So they were trying to go in and fight en masse against the North Vietnamese forces for the first time with air cavalry, which was, I'm going to really go down a rabbit hole here. So that was the big battle, and after that, the opposing force to us at that time decided, no, this has to be a guerrilla war. And it was an incredible cast with Mel Gibson and Barry Pepper and Kerry Russell and John Hamm, young John Hamm, this new guy, John Hamm. And we went to Atlanta, and we were in a form of boot camp and ranger school that was really not the tough version, but tough enough for me. And we had a blast, and really worked our butt off making that. So I'm glad you liked it.
No, absolutely. Also do. Again, you've done work in front and behind. Particularly, I enjoy Choke.
Thank you. Thanks to you and you.
Yeah, I know.
The rest of you come see it. It's perverted. Yes, Choke. I had written a movie. When I first moved to LA in the late '90s, I had done a lot of work as a theater actor, but they did not know from me or want to know from me in LA, and so I started writing because I don't like to sit still, and I got hired to write this movie that became this ghost movie, What Lies Beneath. It was a thrilling adventure. Thank you. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of good. And at that time, they brought me this book called Choke, about I'm not going to tell you what it's about. But if you saw Fight Club, it's by the same author who wrote Fight Club. And it's a satire about a sex-addicted colonial theme park worker, and I thought it was brilliant. So they asked me to write it, and I said I'll write it if I can direct it. And it took me probably 3 or 4 years to adapt it and get the money, and then we made it in New Jersey in a sweltering hot summer like this one, with Sam Rockwell and Angelica Houston and this wonderful Scottish actress, Kelly MacDonald, and it was really an amazing experience.
I think it's people need to see it. That's why I always say that's what's one of those films. That's one of my loner films, which is like I don't know much. That's one of them.
Oh, thank you.
No, very much do. And we should go ahead and talk about the big one. How did Agent Coulson come about for you?
In my neighborhood in Santa Monica, where I was living at that point, there was a guy, Jon Favreau, who had made a couple of indie films, and at that point, yes, Swingers, he was involved in, and I had read that he was going to make Iron Man, which was one of my favorite comics, and I read the cast coming together with Robert Downey, who was no longer in trouble, but it turns out it was not easy for him to get Marvel to agree. It was the beginning of Marvel Cinematic Universe, really. And Gwyneth and Jeff Bridges, this amazing cast, and I thought, God, I can't wait to see that. That's the right Tony Stark. And then I got this call saying, you know what, there's a tiny part, it's this guy, his name is just Agent. And I was like, look, God, how am I going to say no to this? This is one of my favorite comics, but I'd also been in a couple of movies where I had small parts, and then my friends went to see them, and they were like, I didn't see you. And I was like, that's because they cut me and kept all the movie stars, and I thought if there's a movie here where I'm going to get cut out, it's the guy named Agent. Luckily I did not listen to myself. And I did it, and I got there, and they kind of out of the, I think it was the first scene was me approaching Tony Stark, Agent Coulson approaching Stark at the opera and saying this strategic homeland, and they said, you know, this time go in and say you're from the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division, and I was like, okay, you want me to memorize that right now? But I managed to, and I said, you know, as a comic book person, I have to ask, because that seems to spell out your shield, and I was like, I still thought, that's cool. I had my 2 scenes, and I'll get to be someone, the first person who said shield. And but then I don't know, there was something just about the snarky guy pretending to be a bureaucrat actually is in possession of great secrets that was kind of working. And so they were like, hey, listen, we're putting some more scenes in, and actually there's some cool stuff for you in Iron Man 2. And I was like, okay, I like where this is going. And we were doing this scene where he has a prototype of Cap's shield, he doesn't even know it. And he's using it to do stuff, and they say, okay, this take, go, there was some improv in those days. This take, go in, tell him you gotta go. You gotta go. And I'm like, I gotta go, I don't wanna go, I'm really having fun. And they're like, no, tell him you gotta go to New Mexico. I was like, okay. And I did a couple of takes, and then I was like, hey, I'm not deep method, but what's in New Mexico? Where am I going? And I said, oh, did nobody tell you this? You find Thor's hammer. And I was like, am I a Make-A-Wish kid? I mean, I'm a little old for it, but it feels like this is the only plausible explanation for what's going on here. And next thing I know, I was up. Stan Lee, oh my God, his pickup truck was trying to pull the thing out, nobody could, and I got to say, I found it. So for a kid who'd been quite nerdy in Chapel Hill, at the Varsity Theater in Chapel Hill, staying 3 times in a row to watch the first Star Wars movie, the Carolina Theater to watch the first Superman. I heard they made a new one. Which I'm glad to see. And it just became this kind of series of incredible, like, okay, now this is definitely Make-A-Wish. Like at Comic-Con, they brought me for Thor, and this guy comes up, and I was like, this is Josh Whedon. And he comes over, he's like, look for me. Look for me, and he said, can I introduce you as part of the cast of The Avengers? And I was like, that's okay with me.
That's how you found out?
Yeah.
When they pulled you on the stage?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even know that way?
No.
Oh my God.
They don't tell anything. They don't tell you anything. And then I had this call from...
You were under a multi-picture contract. I did read that.
I mean, they gave you a multi-picture contract
But that's almost
to tie you up if you were doing the catering.
Yeah.
They locked everybody down. And probably a month or two later, I got this call from Kevin Feige, the genius behind all that. And he said, so listen, you know, Joss wasn't kidding, you have a really good part in the Avengers. And I was like, that's really? That's so cool. And he said, yeah, what happens to you is what brings the Avengers together. And I was like, bro. But then I got the script and I was just like, wow. I'd rather, if it's this or bring the Hulk smoothies for 9 more movies, I'll take this. And not that the Hulk has a smoothie problem that you know about. I shouldn't have said that, it's a secret. It was, you know, it was incredible. And then it got to the day in New Mexico where I was getting stabbed a lot by a certain Asgardian son of... And I was very sad because the people, there just was something amazing about being part of that team. We were in New Mexico filming that movie, and it was, you know, people would come in, they'd be doing this part and this part, but rarely was the whole squad around. And there was a moment when the whole squad was around, and there was this group text. And I got one from Chris Evans that just said, assemble. We're going out tonight, baby. But on the day when I was kind of sad and covered with unfortunate blood, this young executive at Marvel at the time, Jeremy Latcham, goes, I'm allowed to show you this. This might make your day a little easier. And he had an iPad, and on the iPad was the spectacular, very early previs animation of Hulk grabbing Loki and going like this. Thank you, Jeremy. I feel better now.
And when did they you get a blip on the radar saying, oh, by the way, the story's not done for you?
Well, I was really quite dead.
Yes.
Quite dead. It was very clear. I was like, even when they were shooting that day, I was like, do you want to get one where it kind of grazes me a little? No. I was like, the one with a little less blood. You might want it. You might realize the glue. No. Even the glue has to die at some point. And then I was probably a year later, I was trying to direct a tiny independent film. I was back to my normal life. And I got this call from Jeff Loeb, who was running this new Marvel television thing where they were going to start to make Daredevil and stuff on Netflix, but they were making this one ABC show. And they said, with Joss, they said, we think you may not be so dead. And the reason they did that, and the reason I love to come to events like this, is because they had these photos and tweets of people all over the globe in Africa, carved on a hill, Coulson lives. And I mean, to have fans who kind of, I felt like they got what I liked. Joss got it too, you know, that I had these cards, my cap cards. He was like, he got this guy's one of us. And that the fans got that, and that they needed someone within that world who didn't have superpowers, you know, other than their belief in the cause. And so to have that come about as a result of that, to work for Marvel, who has always, I mean, you know, Comic-Con's really changed because Marvel started bringing early footage of these things to San Diego. And their relationship with the fans was a really thrilling thing to be part of. And so all of a sudden I was playing a guy who had thought he had a near miss, but had actually died and been brought back through fiendish alien methods. If you haven't seen the show, check it out. And he's now running a team of kind of hand-picked, misfit, very young agents, even though he's kind of beat up and tired and traumatized. And suddenly I realized, well, here's this aging, beat up, traumatized actor with a team of young actors, and spectacular. Not quite as old, I mean, not quite as young, but still very young Ming-Na Wen. And we were living a very parallel experience making this show, which we got to make for 7 seasons, and just had an actual family. We really had a blast doing it.
It was a wonderful ride for us as well. And before I go out there and take their questions, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for your talents and your professionalism and the performances you worked done in front and behind the camera. You got a great body of work. And it's just been an absolute delight. And understand too, we're not just here for Agent Coulson, we're here for you. We really love you and looking forward to the next project.
Thanks so much.
Next question.
Shane Gilroy wanted to say that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. meant that finding friends and family is more than just blood. It taught me that sorry.
It's good.
Let me throw you a curve, man.
Take a breath.
I get the message you're saying.
You guys inspired me to go back to school, get my diagnosis for autism and ADD.
My man.
And family can be more than just blood, it's friends you found.
The family you find. Dead right. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's valuable. Thank you for taking your time.
Going back to film school, what do you recommend to focus on? Directing, producing? I'm not that good at acting, obviously, but
This is not acting. You could be great at acting.
What do you like to do?
You have to listen to you. This is going to sound cheesy, and it's completely true. You're going to have to listen carefully to yourself because it's going to tell you. It's a beautiful question. Thank you. Next, let's move that. Steven. The roots again, and I feel like everything's possible. I'm hoping yes. I'm hoping we see some more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Great question. Thank you.
What's next?
So, the beginning of S.H.I.E.L.D. was really grounded. The end was like aliens and time travel and stuff.
Yeah.
What did you enjoy more? The grounded stuff or like the more fantastical?
Both. Next. Cameron.
Hey, what's your name?
Cameron,
Hi, what do you got?
what is your favorite part of being Agent Coulson?
Getting to hang out with my boy Cameron 3 times today.
What you got?
Okay, Phil Coulson was protagonist for the first 5 seasons. He turned antagonist for the 6th season. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. What was that like? How was that?
So fun. I was kind of fun to be a little bit of a bad boy there as Sarge. I really dug it. Thank you.
Come on, look for us. Get the camera.
Forward,
What's up?
forward. Say your question, then go.
No problem. If you could be an Avenger, who would you be?
Phil Coulson, baby. Or Black Widow. Let me be honest. Okay, go.
Hi, I just wanted to know, like, how did like being a consumer of entertainment, how has that shaped you as a creator?
That's actually a brilliant question. I know what I like to see. I know like what I don't like to see. I like when the audience is being treated like they're really smart and they're not kind of condescending to me. So I try to make stuff that's like that. Give them the benefit of being smart. Thank you. Next.
After your performance on Lip Sync Battle, have you ever thought about a career in burlesque?
In burlesque? That's all I think about, baby.
You know, we have burlesque.
She's talking about me as Britney Spears doing Toxic. Wait, you took it, but it'll be burned in your brain and not in a good way.
We do burlesque here late at night, just saying. What's up?
Well, it's work. You didn't think you were going to get that for your money. Okay, go.
Given your time in the MCU universe,
Yeah.
what is like your favorite?
Okay, the U stands for universe. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding, sure.
I'm just a girl, Your Honor.
Hey! I don't share that viewpoint, but okay. I have a daughter and she's way smarter than me. Okay, go.
Given your time in the MCU, what is your favorite Coulson moment?
My favorite Coulson moment? If you play around, or if you mess around or play any games, I will tase you and watch Super Nanny while you drool into the class.
Great road cosplay, by the way. Hey, what you got? Hey, 10 seconds to tell me how your favorite teacher or author helped you write it.
Oh, my favorite teacher, Jesus. I read Ernest Hemingway in college, and I thought if I could ever just do anything that's that simple and true and beautiful in any art form, I would be thrilled. Next. We're gonna make it, we're gonna make it!
Hi, given the fact that Agent Coulson seems to have taken a step back from the MCU, if you could choose
No,
a
girl,
way for
no,
Coulson to
no,
come back
I'm
in,
gonna stop you.
What
They
would
took
you-
a step back from me.
how would you choose for Agent Coulson to come back into the MCU officially? What would you choose?
Okay, this is what came to me as a special MCU form of ghost that gradually was materializing more and more based on how much people interacted with him, like a quantum Coulson ghost. I own it, don't try to write it. Go, next.
So, how
thoughts on Tahiti, and how did the Tahiti bit come about?
That's purely something out of Joss's head, that they told him he'd been getting these wonderful massage treatments, recovering in Tahiti, and he was really, undergoing this gruesome alien revival experience. What I'm really sad about, because I surf all the time now, is I haven't found a way to get Tahiti to bring me there, so I can say that I've actually been. Okay, we're down to 4, we can do this.
A lot of emotional moments in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Which one was the hardest to act emotionally?
I'm going to flip your question. The easiest one to act, in a way it was also very difficult, was there was a thing at the end of season 5, because we thought we were done. They only decide later, oh, you know what, we're going to do 2 more seasons for Netflix. I was saying goodbye to everyone before they dropped me off on the island, because I was terminal. Hard to say. And I was saying goodbye to Chloe and to Henry and to everybody who I really loved. And we couldn't even rehearse the scene. We couldn't even block it because it was so much emotion, just saying goodbye to each other. So they literally just had to kind of you're going to stand roughly here and then we're going to shoot. And just for the first time, that's what you saw on the screen. Thank you.
Hey, what you got?
Yes, during your time on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel got to introduce maybe a little bit of lesser known heroes or heroines. In your opinion, do you have any ideas of what you would want, maybe as a fellow actor or a person on a show, for a hero to be introduced? Would you want, say, a lesser known heroine, or if so, what would they be?
I love that. That's a great question. So, Big Marvel, we called them, they were using an amazing amount of stuff. They'd be like, nope, can't use that, can't use that. So they got to bring in all these other cool characters. They weren't doing anything with Ghost Rider. So we got the incredible Gabe Luna. I don't know if you've seen his other show. It's a little thing called Last of Us. I thought his Ghost Rider was incredible. And a lot of the other kind of secondary characters we got to play with, I thought were really cool deep cuts from Marvel. I love that. Yeah.
Hi, what's your favorite movie?
Next question. No, I'm totally kidding. I just can never make up my mind. Very few things have rocked me like Blade Runner. Blade Runner just changed my whole world, the original Blade Runner.
Okay, bring us home.
Do you have any memorabilia from any of your projects? If so, what's your favorite one?
I'm not saying that you got together as a group and decided to try to get me in trouble.
I rephrase this question. Have you found yourself in possession of anything from any sets you worked on?
I might have a bloody suit. I might have some bloody parts. I might have a really beautiful flying Corvette. They wouldn't give me that. Are you kidding? I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out.